What is good, Cardano fam, ADA gang? We have lots of exciting updates to unpack today, so hit that subscribe, hit that like. Cardano ADA 24-hour trade volume surpasses $2.1 billion according to CoinGecko. MEXC ranks Cardano ADA as the fourth most traded asset during their zero trading fee campaign. And over 202,000 posts on X mention Cardano ADA or SNEK this week, according to Radar. Ripple, in a video they posted today, shows Cardano ADA, the logo, in the beginning of the video, just a few seconds. And so this is in a recent tokenization post. Is it just a coincidence? Is it nothing to think about? Or maybe a hint at maybe midnight XRPL, maybe RLUSD on Cardano? We do know that there are good relations between Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, David Schwartz, and Charles, and there's ongoing talks. And Ripple projects the market for tokenized real-world assets to grow from $0.6 trillion today to nearly $19 trillion by 2033. Charles has also spoken about the massive growth for real-world assets. So I found it kind of entertaining that they opened the video with a little Cardano B-roll. Charles says you can compress a spring, but it bounces back. The markets seem hopeless and broken, but the bull market will be spectacular. I remain confident in $250,000 Bitcoin within a year, alongside a rising tide for everyone else. It'll be a bumpy ride, right? It's not linear the way up. But I think this storm too shall pass, and there's already been some recovery in the market. But guys, I was buying the dip last night. I was like panicking a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's dumping so bad. But I bought more. I bought the night of, I bought the morning of, I bought in the afternoon. So I've just been buying the dip. And speaking of, it's good to have some liquidity. And Finest helps with that, integrating direct selling for fGLD, their first commodity gold tokens on Cardano. So they already have the tokenized granite, the gold as well, and now gold holders can sell with the press of a button to aurum, one of the largest gold sellers in the world, via direct liquidity bridge, tapping into billions of dollars of liquidity. So this is unique because we have a direct bridge to one of the largest gold sellers, and this will provide so much liquidity to people who they're holding gold in a tokenized form and they need to get some liquidity. That's very useful, especially with this crash right now. The SEC announces its panelists to discuss crypto trading regulation on Friday, April 11th at 1 p.m. Eastern. And that includes Coinbase, New York Stock Exchange, Uniswap, and more. SEC Commissioner and Crypto Task Force leader Hester Peirce looks forward to advancing towards crypto clarity, not only in this discussion, but as part of the series. So we'll watch it and see if there's anything exciting announced. JPMorgan Chief Investment Officer Bob Michele says this market drop is the worst except for 1987, 2008, and 2020. In those three crashes and those incidents, the Fed stepped in immediately and cut rates. Guys, we've been mentioning about cutting rates, and now we're hearing JP Morgan calling for rates to be cut. He finished off saying, I don't know if they can even make it to the main meeting before bringing rates down. It makes sense to bring rates down in terms of refinancing the debt and many other reasons. I think it's inevitable. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says almost 70 countries have reached out to President Trump to negotiate new trade deals. So we see all different types of posts right now, especially what's been a highlight is that China doesn't seem to be cooperating. Some countries are cooperating more, so hopefully we see something well established with Japan sooner rather than later, because the uncertainty is really hurting the crypto and stock market. I think I saw something like $2.1 trillion wiped out in stocks today. President Trump says other countries are now offering things that we would have never even thought of asking for. So we just got to be patient, guys. Finally, China says it will not bow to President Trump's new tariff threats. So they kind of like bounced back with their own And then he said they have until April 8th. If they don't cooperate, then it might get a little spicy. So we're gonna watch and see on X and elsewhere how this goes down. But the market is looking pretty good, guys. I think tariffs, people fixate too much on not realizing that it's simply a tool. And you give it a week, you give it a month, and all of a sudden we could have tons of new negotiations, new trade deals that are mutually beneficial. And I think that I like to just be an individual. I don't care what party, what color it is. I think that it's put the US in the driver's seat to initiate negotiation. So we'll see what happens. But Cardano's already back at 60 cents nearly since 51. Let me know if you guys have been buying the dip. I bought again today, last night, more Bitcoin, more ADA, more XRP, a little bit of Litecoin as well. But ADA is my biggest holding, and I just immediately started staking it as well. So I know some bears in the chat, they're saying 30 cent, 30 cent. Well, they were right that there was more negative price volatility, and we didn't rule that out. We said it's possible. So we're going to have to see. But this is already a pretty good bounce back because Bitcoin already touched 75K. So within a span of 24 hours to go from 75 to 80K, and XRP seems to be holding pretty good resilience as well. Bitcoin dominance 63.5. I mean, it's so elevated. And that's why I like to hear an objective thesis of why bears are so bearish instead of just saying, well, 30 cents. The reason why I still think that we're in a bull run, but we haven't seen the crescendos yet for alts, is because Bitcoin dominance is so elevated at 63.5%, almost 64% recently. On top of that, searches are very low, right? Interest rates, we may see that cut very soon, perhaps May, maybe into June. That can play a big role as well. We'll see kind of that easing play into a risk-on mindset. A lot of the uncertainty is being problematic for traders, both in stock and in crypto. And so there's many reasons to believe that we are in a bull run, we're just not at those crescendos yet. Bitcoin also at 80K, right? We're not talking 50K, 40K Bitcoin. It seems to be holding resilience quite well, all things considered. Not breaking like 70K at all, just a nice bounce back from 75. So I still think that we're in a bull run, but we haven't seen the altcoin crescendos, if you will. So the timing is really tough, especially this cycle. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with a lot of the uncertainty. But I think there's optimism in the market, and we're definitely seeing that. I mean, ADA, 24 hours, going from 5.1 to nearly 6, $2 billion of volume. I think the highlight for me is two things. It's really nice to see Finest integrate this direct selling for gold. Also, Charles, I noticed the market being negative. He's a lot more active on X Spaces, and it's great to have him around in terms of just, helping with the morale of holders. So don't panic, guys. I know it's easy to panic. I know it's hard, but that's why it's important to have a strong thesis with the projects that you believe in. And that's why I just accumulate more. I buy the fear, right? So great to see that. 250K Bitcoin is pretty wild. I'm kind of leaning more in that 150 to 200 range, but with a supply shock and with risk on macro elements, we could see it. It's possible, totally possible. I think it's interesting, though, to see Ripple, for whatever reason, put ADA in the video there. So, guys, I'll leave you with that. Let's try our best to be positive. There's always perspective. And try your best to remain positive and remain objective with these markets. Don't try not to panic with the prices being down. I know it's tough. And hopefully we do see some more stable coins integrated. The likes of RLUSD, USD1, and potentially more as well. So guys, I'll leave you with that. Let me know your price predictions. Do you think that we're going to go even lower than 51 cents, or is this more or less the floor? Things are looking pretty good for Cardano and many others. So smash that subscribe, smash that like. I'll see you in the next Angry Crypto Show.